Hi.
Hi, how are ya?
Good. How are you?
Doing well? Doing well?
Good, good. Well, I don't know if everybody knows you. I don't know if everyone knows me. I don't know who's watching us, but I'm so glad to have you here. So this is Faison, and I just kind of happened across you on the internet as the
Yeah?
great wide world of needlepoint, which I love. But you live in Florida, is that right?
Sunny Orlando. It's currently raining, so not
Well,
so sunny, but
the sun's actually
um
in Michigan. Can you believe it?
I mean, I'll trade you right now. It's been so gross here.
It's not.
It's been yucky. So, but yeah, I live in Orlando. We've lived here for gosh, almost 4 years. It's crazy. We thought we'd be here for two, and then we fell in love with it and bought a house, and things got blurry, kind
So
of
you
between
think you're
us living here and
so you're
maybe.
staying for a while, as far as you know?
We love it. So I'm originally from Houston, but my parents are kind of upset that we're here in Orlando. They like it, but we have fallen head over heels in love with Orlando, not just for the tourism industry, but Orlando is its own actual city, and a lot of people don't know that.
Right.
So we are in a fabulous neighborhood, and we
Right.
love it. We love it.
Well, and I'm so sad because I have been through Orlando a number of times, but of course I was supposed to be there in March for
I
market.
know I was supposed to be there too.
Oh yeah, that was super sad that
No,
we
such a bummer.
canceled, but you know, hopefully next year, right? We
I'm
can all
hoping,
be patient.
hoping,
So
hoping, hoping.
yeah.
My fingers are crossed.
So we'll get to really the main thing that I think is so awesome about you, besides that you're just a great gal, but
Well,
that
thank
you're
you.
really promoting needlepoint to younger people. But I think it's a great idea to like kind of work our way up. So
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about your background.
Okay. So I'm trying to see where I should get started. In terms of needlepoint, I've been doing it since I was 5 or 6, somewhere around there. My grandmother taught me how to do it, and my mother as well. So, hi, mom. Being that person.
I love it.
But my grandmother has been doing had done needlepoint almost all for most of her life until she was diagnosed with severe RA. So.
Oh,
Um, it has been, for me, needlepoint has been a wonderful creative outlet. And I can see, especially my grandmother, where she was no longer able to do it. And with RA being kind of it can run in the family. It has me terrified that I want the kids to have stuff that I have of hers. So I've been doing that. I went to high school in Houston, grew up there, then went to the University of Mississippi to Ole Miss. I studied French and Spanish, so I have an undergraduate in French and I have a minor in Spanish. Did a little bit of a half of a master's and then kind of gave up
so
with
so
the
still fluent in both.
yes,
Good
evolution of the
girl.
French language. So it's great when we travel, but that's about it. So
I,
I met my husband actually the summer before my freshman year of college. So we dated long distance throughout the entire college. Well, he moved my junior year of college to Ole Miss. But when he graduated, he was commissioned as a medical corps officer in the Army. So we were posted at Fort Sam in 2012 in San Antonio. Loved it. I was a manager for Kate Spade at the time for about a year. Ended up, we got pregnant with our son in 2013, had him, and then the military sequester happened. So the government shut down in 2013. My husband basically lost his job with the military. They said, we don't need you anymore. So we moved back to Mississippi, back to Ole Miss, and Peter did a master's, was an adjunct professor for a little bit. And Mississippi was great. It's very different. It's a very, very, very small town that we lived in, very small college town. So there was no needlepoint store. The closest one was in Memphis, about an hour and 15 minutes away. I know.
well, people
I
don't
would make a
understand. If we love to needlepoint, like we wouldn't move somewhere that we didn't have access to stuff like that.
Right. Or you'd be willing to, right. I mean, it wasn't much of a choice for me to go back to Oxford, but, you know, we made the most of it. We'd go do weekly runs to Memphis and all of that. And then upon my husband's graduation with his master's, he was hired by a hospital here in Florida, and he actually accepted the job without telling me. So I didn't even know that we were moving here. But we had 10 days to relocate. And so we moved here, fell in love. And I had nothing really to do. I had been a professional photographer since 2014, had my own business. I was a full-time photographer. I was doing commercial work. I was doing family and lifestyle. So when you move from one place to another as a photographer, you have to start rebuilding your whole portfolio again. And you basically have to start from scratch. So needlepoint became one of those things that I really turned to in times of like uncertainty, unknown. I mean, perfect for right now. But needlepoint and Disney really became my like two favorite things to lean on. So anyway, we've been here for going on, it'll be 4 years in August. We've really, really loved it. And needlepoint has really pushed me through all of the big changes in our lives, I guess you would say, my husband's and mine. So yeah, so we really enjoyed it.
Yeah. And so you have two different kind of internet worlds, right? You have a lifestyle blog.
Yes, I do. So I actually started blogging in 2010. It was a little tiny blog that I had. It was supposed to be an accountability for weight loss that I never ended up doing. And it was more so just kind of, hey, here are the outfits that I'm wearing. Here are sales that I found. It wasn't anything too special. I blogged about our wedding planning, that kind of stuff. And it's been kind of off and on for the past, like I said, 10 years. Since becoming a professional photographer in 2014, I was more focused on work with companies. So I am actually hired by companies and work with them to collaborate on projects, on new product. Here in Orlando, I have somehow become one of the foodie bloggers. I don't know how. But I'm invited to all these fun things, all these events around town. I get to do fun things with Disney and stuff like that. So that is my family and lifestyle blog. That's like a whole different section away from needlepoint. But
fun,
I will say, yeah. So it was funny. I've always posted some of my needlepoint online, but I feel like even in 2010, it wasn't. Like I would have people kind of look at me and be like, isn't that something my grandma would do? And so I never really like showed it proudly. I mean, I did it and I was very, I was proud of it, but I wasn't like, hey guys, look what I'm working on. This is so cool. Because there was no Instagram at the time in 2010. So, to find all these wonderful connections like you. So yeah, I more recently, within the past year, and I think you'd agree with me, we've seen a major uptick in the needlepoint industry, especially with millennials, and significantly in the past 3 months, I would assume to say. So it's been fun. I've always had some friends that have asked and said, hey, what is that? Is that cross stitch? Which kind of makes me cringe on the inside.
It does.
But I'm also very happy that they are even asking about it. So, so yeah, I've done lots and lots of projects. It's fun now to have finally found a group online that appreciates your needlepoint work, appreciates your skill, and appreciates the art in general. So I'm very, very, very thankful for that. I actually owe it to my dear friend Alexandra Tennant for pushing me and getting me my own needlepoint account. She had been telling me for a long time to do it. So I was like, okay, all right. I guess I'll do it. I guess I'll separate my life. And it's taken off. Who knew?
So that's how I came across you, because it just kind of fell into my feed one day. I don't know, I don't know how all these gremlins work, that these good things happen. So it's, if I recall right, is it Faison Ann underscore stitches?
Yes. So
And
that is what it is. It's
E,
Faison
right?
Ann underscore stitches. And then my other alter ego is Faison Ann.
Okay.
So
And Ann has an E, right?
it does have an E. It is, so Faison is my first name. It's a French female last name on my parents' side. A lot of people think it's my last name. So I get a lot of emails that say, "Hey, Ann," and I'm like, it's okay. It's okay. It's fine. It's fine. But
Well,
yeah, so it was easy. The only reason why it's not Faison is because someone in Asia actually took Faison in 2012.
the
So,
nerve of them.
and I'm not gonna pay someone for that handle. So
No,
whatever.
sounds good.
But I really kind of getting back into the needlepoint and what I feel like really made a big push on my personal blog was when I started posting my Thorne Alexander Biggie Smalls project, and I've got it right here if you want to.
Good. Yes.
So this is the famous, all of my friends call it the famous denim jacket.
That's
So
so
this is Biggie Smalls from Thorne Alexander.
I love
I ended up putting him on, what is this, a Levi's denim jacket. This was one of my first like fancy stitch projects. So he's even beaded. And I had a lot of fun with it. I think this project, posting it, really shattered the stigma with needlepoint being an old lady art with a lot of my millennial peers. So I think this has been a big reason why, at least with the shift that I've seen on my personal blog and the interest, I think has honestly been this. So
right. Yeah. Now, one of the gals who works for me did that piece as well, and hers is in this giant pillow. And in her case, her husband, she's a big knitter and a needle pointer, and as with many husbands, they just kind of ignore this little thing that we do. Like, he didn't really ever care like what she was doing. And then suddenly, I don't even know how he saw it. I think she's like, "Oh my God, look at this, Chase." And he's like, "You have to stitch that." And so now it's on their living room couch, and it's like his pride and joy, and she did a fabulous job stitching it. It's back on our feed, so at some point you'll have to go check it out, but it's super cute.
You know, I will say that and I think you'd agree too, the needlepoint designs have definitely changed and geared towards millennials and has really piqued that interest. I mean, I've also got an Ava Howard with me right now that is very cheeky. It has no bad words in it, just a heads up. But this is my Welcome to Adulthood. We hope you like Xanax. I turned it into a zipper pouch.
That's
I love her adulthood series, the Welcome to Adulthood series. I think there's one that says like martinis and gin, vodka,
Spanx.
Yep. But Xanax works great for me. Really quickly, my daughter is medically needy, and so this was actually a medication I was prescribed. So it's perfect because I actually do use it as my medication pouch. But I find that cheeky things like that are really selling very well. And I don't know, I love it. I love the snarky pillows that I'm seeing now. In fact, I've got one that I just purchased. It's a canvas that says, if a man speaks and no woman is around, is he still wrong?
I love it.
So I've got this like whole snarky pillow collection coming along, and I think they're a lot of fun. So, and it's fun seeing finished projects. I think for a lot of people who are just starting to get into needlepoint and seeing all of the possibilities that they can do.
Right.
So needlepoint Instagram is basically, it's a wonderful addiction because I'm looking at everyone else's finished projects or the projects that they're working on. And I find now that I am more so on my needlepoint Instagram than I am on my personal one.
I have, well, that's not true. I have 2 Instagram accounts and 2 Facebook accounts, and I'm never on my real life ones ever. It's only my needlepoint ones.
No, I'm really probably only on my needlepoint one. I mean, I would say I'm on it 75% of the time,
Right.
just because I'm like, oh, look, there's someone doing this exact same canvas, and oh, look, they stitched it differently.
Right.
And then I want to rip out all of my work and do what do what they did. So,
Oh, no.
but yeah, it's been a wonderful ride these past few months in the needlepoint Instagram world, for sure.
Yes. Well, and I just, as a shop owner, ironically, I'm considered young in the industry, which cracks me up. I go to market, they're like, oh, it's so nice to see a young new store owner. And I'm like, okay. But so as shop owners, we all realize that we can't keep going with just having retirees as our main customers. So, it is not a hobby for the faint of wallet.
No.
But I think if you look at it as in terms of rather than the expense of the project, the expense of the entertainment value you're getting out of it and the therapeutic value, let's be honest, like it just gets us all to calm down, cool our jets, let go of the
Absolutely.
outside world. So I try to explain to people that don't needlepoint, like, you're not buying $100 canvas. You're buying these many hours of relaxation in your future.
Right. That's a wonderful way to put it. So, my husband and I, this kind of goes along with it. My husband and I have an agreement. He does not buy me flowers. I feel like flowers, while they are wonderful, they wilt and they die. So instead, for little happies, he sends me gift cards to my favorite needlepoint shops, and I get a fun canvas out of it.
Yeah.
And those are fun. Usually, like Christmas, I'll get canvases from people, and they'll be like, "Hey, will you stitch this?" And I'm like, "Yes, I will."
Cute.
But going back to your point about the calming factor, it has been a huge, tremendous asset to me to be able to needlepoint. I mean, there's a picture of me in labor with our daughter Eloise in the hospital bed and stitching my son a little BB-8 or a Christmas ornament from Star Wars. And there are pictures of me when our daughter was diagnosed with her conditions. I was in the hospital. All I was doing was stitching.
Yeah.
And it's just a wonderful, wonderful calming. I'm going to call it a sport. It is a calming sport because I have made it a sport because I stitch so much. But, it's something that I can carry in my purse with me wherever. I feel naked without it if I don't have something in my purse to work on. And it's also been a wonderful alternative to, say, Xanax. And I know that sounds crazy, but it has. When you've got a child that's in and out of the hospital and you're not sure if she's going to make it, we had no idea the first year of life what we were going into. So I started hoarding canvases and stitching and stitching and stitching. And that was a really wonderful tool for me. Even as I go through all of my melanoma treatment. So if you don't know, I have had skin cancer. I have had melanoma. And I just turned 32. So this is a very scary time for me. But I will still be in surgery and I'll still stitch because that's the one thing that can calm me down. So,
Right.
Yeah. So wear sunscreen, please.
Always. I have to say I am a sun lover, but I'm like, okay, but if I'm wearing my 70, it's not quite so bad. But
you just have to make sure to reapply. I was that person that wore baby oil on her legs, and then occasionally went into a tanning bed in college, and that was my kiss of death. I honestly didn't think that at 30 I would start having these problems, but here we are. So, it is what it is. But like I said, I've got my needlepoint. I'm very happy. Every time I go into the dermatologist, like every 3 months, she's asking me what I'm stitching. And in fact, I just finished the Pippin Rue, the Bain de Soleil sunscreen. So that's going to my dermatologist for Christmas. She doesn't know it yet. But that
change it from a 4 to a 40 or something.
Yeah, that's gonna be like a 4 to a 40 or maybe a 400. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
yeah, so that's where needlepoint has kind of taken me. It's definitely been my fallback for the longest time that I can remember, you know, going through moving, being in the military, being out of the military, and me not being in the military, my husband.
right,
But,
right.
you know,
Yeah, the trailing spouse, as you're called,
yeah,
right?
this is the one thing that I've got that is a constant. So I'm really thankful for that.
And now, as I said, you're kind of focusing on bringing people of your age group into the fold, so to speak. And so you've got a fabulous newsletter going on. You're doing some
Thank
stitch nights.
you.
You're doing a stitch alongs,
Yeah,
multiple stitch alongs. So
yeah.
yeah, tell us a little bit more about all that.
So when I guess it's been like this for as long, again, as long as I can remember. There has not been a newsletter or any kind of publishing that has said, hey, here are where the trunk clubs are across the country. Here are shop sales. I've never seen that. And especially right now where you have people that are furloughed that don't have a whole lot of money coming in. Some of these people are only going to be able to purchase at a trunk show or at that trunk show price or at a discount. I mean, needlepoint destashing is doing so incredibly well right now. But yeah, it just, I felt like I was tired of scrolling through Instagram and screenshotting everything and screenshotting like quick little blurbs from, you know, whichever shops were posting online. I was really,
Right.
really getting tired of it. It was just, I remember calling 3 shops and they were like, oh yeah, that happened last week. We don't have that anymore. So I kind of took an opportunity as if I had extra time on my hands to do it. I mean, wrangling 2 kids, it's fine. Um, and so yeah, it got started. Originally it was just going to be for a few friends, and it ended up we now have over 300 subscribers.
Well, it's only been like
I believe
almost.
my fifth newsletter will be this weekend, 5th or 6th. So I'm very excited. It's been fun. It's been growing. I figured call it Stitch Happy Hour just because I love having a cocktail in my hand. It even says it on my Instagram profile. And yeah, I just figured why not just have needlepoint, but have a couple other things. So I promote shop sales, in-store needlepoint shop sales and trunk shows. I also promote direct sales. And then I also will post a cocktail in there.
Yes.
And
And a
then
mocktail.
yeah, and then, you know, just also share a few things that are in my carts all across the internet. So things that I found, like the other week, I did a segment of the perfect bag organizer for your needlepoint bag. The perfect, forgive me, my husband just walked into the room.
I've got some action going on here because I'm still at the store, so there's some.
He just got home from the Coast Guard base, so he literally just walked in. Anyway, so we've got like things like I said, the bag organizer, the perfect little gift pouch from like John Hart on how to deliver threads or whatever. Stuff like that is just really fun. It gives you kind of an idea if you've got someone having a gift, you know, if you've got someone and you've got a gift in mind for them.
Right.
Just something fun and happy. You know, there's a lot of crazy things, you know, with the pandemic going on right now, and I just felt like we needed some kind of happiness in our inbox. So, so yeah.
Super fun. And then you also host your Zoom stitch along, or not stitch alongs. What do you call those?
Well, I call them Stitch
Thursday.
Happy Hours. So it kind of goes with the newsletter. And so each, with that newsletter, you get the link to our, or to my, or our, I would say ours, it's a community thing, to the newsletter. The newsletter has it to our weekly Zooms. We have them twice a week, Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. And then again, Thursday, 8:30 p.m. Eastern. I will say that the Tuesday is a lot, I would say that it's more popular. We've had up to about 16 people join. So it's fun. It's still a good manageable amount. It's not like Celebrity Square craziness yet. But it is a lot of fun. I have old friends that have been stitching that are on there. I met you through there. We have other designers that have jumped in, like Joanna from Plum Stitchery. I'm sorry, Plum Design now. And it's just been a whole lot of fun to meet other stitchers around the country that really enjoy doing what we all love to do, sharing our projects and all that.
When I hopped on the first week, so for a while, my whole family was away up at our lake house because things were so bad in Detroit. So I was home on my own from Tuesdays through Fridays. And I'm like, okay, well, I just kind of met this gal and it looks interesting. Like, I'll pop on for 5 minutes. And I think
you're on for 3 hours.
3 hours.
Yeah.
So it was really fun. And I wasn't anticipating enjoying spending time, as much as you can call it that, with the Zoom thing, with people I didn't know at all. Like, I didn't know one person, and I was expecting and I'm kind of an introvert, which is ironic that I'm podcasting, but I actually am kind of an introvert. And so for me to get on with all these people I didn't know, I was like, yeah, I even told my friend Megan, who we do this podcast together, I'm like, I'm going to hop onto this thing for a few minutes and I'll call you later. And it was like 11:30, I think, when I got off. So yeah, it was super fun. So I'm not sure like how that dynamic's all working so great, but it obviously is. So
well, thank you. I appreciate it. I've got to give credit to all the girls and ladies that jump on. They are the ones that make it fun. They're actually the ones that make it work. But yeah, it's been a lot of fun to get to know other people. I was kind of riding off of the stitch clubs, how they have them all throughout the country. And then once quarantine hit, there was some that just wasn't a thing anymore. So doing it virtually, and like I said, getting to meet other people and hearing about other shops that other people love and other projects that they've just ordered. In fact, I think we all have a group text now about all of the crazy things that we have either ordered or about to order on eBay or everywhere else. So we have fun.
Yeah, since you had to show off your eBay fanny pack, and
yes.
Mine did arrive the other day. So I, had to ride the wave because my daughter, I think I told you this, I have a 23-year-old daughter, and it's like the family joke. She's obsessed with fanny packs, and we all think they're ridiculous, but she loves them. She will go on for like a half hour about all the benefits of a fanny pack. And so as Hillary pointed out, my daughter's the one who called me out for supposedly not teaching her how to needlepoint, which is kind of a lie, but whatever. Mother-daughter things, we know. And so I got her the fanny pack, and she's just like, what is this? And all of a sudden, her eyes lit up because it clicked what it was. And she's like, oh my God, I can't believe you got me a fanny pack. So she's all busy thinking in her head how she's going to redesign it because, it wasn't the greatest design ever.
No, it wasn't. And just a heads up, or at least to explain it a little more. So we found this fanny pack. I'd like to call it a fancy pack, but it's a fanny pack. Mine is a watermelon, and it's just a little pouch. I don't know if I told you this. I reached out to one of the belt finishers and sent them a picture and said, hey, would you guys be interested in finishing this? And they promptly replied back, no.
Yeah. My finisher will be able to figure it out.
I figure someone will, but I'm not trying to make it like my Louis Vuitton bum bag, not trying to make it like that fanny pack, but just something simple. I figure I'll just wear it to Disney and I don't know. I'll figure something out with it. But it was too good to pass up. And there are just some things on eBay that you look at it and you're like, this is so outrageous. I feel like I have to buy it. I have to buy it.
Kaylee was thrilled with her gift. So we'll have to see if she actually stitches it. But
she's going to have to. She's going to have to.
If nothing will motivate her, she's never going to needlepoint if a fanny pack doesn't motivate her. Let's just.
Yeah, I would think that would be like the peak the peak turning point for her to actually get into stitching.
Oh,
but yeah, so we've got, thanks to this group of ladies and girls, girls, I think everyone's a girl. Thanks to all of them, we have all become very close. I text with some several times per day. And I'm so happy to do it, and to get involved. And I've received so many wonderful emails from people just being so thankful for the newsletter, and that it has been something that's been a wonderful tool for them. So that makes all the effort and all the work of scouring Instagram, which isn't that hard, but finding all of this information so worth it. So
yes. And so now you're also expanding a little bit and doing some stitch alongs that you're hosting. Is that right?
Yes. So yesterday was the final stitch along for Crude canvases. So this is our first one. I teamed up with Crude canvases. We did a collaboration. I will not show you the canvases. They are not PG. But they're great ornaments for the back of your Christmas tree or for your garland or wherever you want to put them. But it was a lot of fun. So Crude canvases, I want to make this clear. I do not know who she is. I don't have her name. I don't have her phone number. Everyone's trying to figure out who she is. I can tell you right now, I have no idea. But
Did
we
you
got
put her address on the packages when she sent you?
No, I have nothing. There's
That's
nothing.
So funny. Postmark? Anything? This is like such a mystery.
No, nothing at all. So we got together back in April and talked about doing a collaboration. So she came out with a series of 3 canvases. There were a total of 15, so 5 of each design. And I figured that 15 canvases would probably take a couple of days to sell, and they sold out in less than 12 hours.
Wow.
It was a crazy, overwhelming thing. So with the stitch along, she created the 3 canvases. She sent them to me. I created stitch guides for them, kitted all of the canvases. So they were at a really great price. I think they were around $60. And then we shipped them all out. And then I hosted a Zoom 3 nights a week to stitch along, help as needed, teach if someone needed to be taught how to do a stitch. Right. So it was a lot of fun. There was a lot of growth. Some of the stitchers hadn't done a double cross stitch before. So we were all learning and doing it together, and we just had the greatest time. And like I said, last night was our final Zoom, and we ended up, Crude Canvases paid for a Zoom session with a goat in Los Angeles. So a goat joined our Zoom last night. It was wonderful. It's
hysterical.
It was a lot of fun. So kind of continuing on with that, we on this past Sunday, a dear friend of mine, Kirsten, and I have announced that we're doing the second installment of Stitch Along. So her company is Middle Sister & Co. She does several sweet Southern designs, cursive, cute fonts, hydrangeas, all the cute things that preppy millennials would love. So she designed a canvas specifically for the Stitch Along. It's very cute. I don't have it on me because our mailman hasn't shown up yet today. Oops. But it's going to be a lot of fun. It says easy peasy lemon squeezy, and it's like an old fashioned. I know. Look at you. You came so prepared, and here I am being like, I wore some kind of needlepoint. So it says easy peasy lemon squeezy, and it's lemonade in an old fashioned glass. And so I will be kitting it, and it goes on sale tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, and turns out there will be 15 of them. Awesome. For sale. I have a feeling with the feedback that we've received, they'll probably sell quickly. But the fun thing about this is that I get to team up with designers and do something incredible, very custom. And it's their choice if they want to keep it exclusive to the Stitch Along or if they want to sell it later. Kirsten has said that she is not going to sell this until next year to the public. So it's something fun, and we'll get together twice a week on Zoom for I think 3 weeks and just go through it and just have the best time.
I think that's great.
Yeah.
So many great things for the needle pointers and
more
importantly, the future needle pointers of the world. So
well, thank you. I appreciate it. It's my goal in life would be to own a needlepoint shop eventually. That's something that I've always wanted to do, and I think one day it'll happen. But for now, newsletter, stitch
Wow.
alongs, all
And for
those
now,
fun.
you have time to stitch because guess what? When you own a needlepoint shop, you
Yeah,
better have time to stitch.
yeah. I figured it was something like that,
That's
but
okay.
yeah,
It still feels like a fake job most of the time, so it's good.
I'd be very happy with a fake job, especially with the way the economy is right now, and not doing my professional photography and not getting called up for shoots. Needlepoint has been something that's always been there, and I know will always be there, and so it gives me a lot more time to dream and think, can I do this eventually? Maybe not now, but later.
Well,
So
good.
we'll see. We'll
Well,
see.
yay. Well, thank you so much for spending time with us. And I'll
Yeah,
put some
of
links
course.
in our YouTube things, obviously, to your pages. And then people will know where to find you. But
Yes,
again,
thank
like,
you.
you
This
know,
is so fun.
yeah. So I appreciate it. And I will probably see you on Tuesday night. I think I missed the last couple Tuesdays because I was trying to
That's
get the store
okay.
reopened. So,
I was trying to explain, I think, who was it? Someone came in and they said they were sorry they were late. And I said, it's happy hour. You can't be late.
right.
It's a stitch club. There's no late, there's no early. You just show up and have a good time.
Well, it's great. Well, thank you so much. And I hope you have a sunny day tomorrow and get rid of your rain. And
I hope so. My
yeah,
fingers are crossed. We'll see.
good. Well, go welcome your husband home and thank you
Thanks.
for sharing time with us.
Yeah,
And
of course.
soon.
All right. Talk to you later.
Take care.
Thanks. All
Bye.
right. Bye.